is when I started getting into like the fitness because I was always kind of like that scrawny little kid. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're so little," and and we do come from a small family, but I'm just like I want to be a presence. I want to make a statement when I walk into a room, and so that's when I started working out, and I would just do body weight stuff at home and just at home exercises because I was afraid of the gym for the longest time.
What was keeping you out of going to the gym?
I think I was just afraid of like looking stupid because I don't know these machines. I don't know like any like real like exercises, at least in those gyms. I can do like the stuff we learned in gym class. That's what I knew exercise to be. So going to the gym was like a whole new world, a whole universe that I knew nothing about. And so it was definitely intimidating. Yeah.
And at the gym, you're known as the guy, the bodybuilder who sings.
Yeah, a singing bodybuilder, and this is a brand new revelation to me. I didn't know this for the long time.
I can lift the weights.
You were singing at the gym, and people like everybody calls you the singing bodybuilder.
Well, because like I always am singing something. There's always a song in my head, either a musical theater song or just some kind of radio song. But I'm always humming or singing, and we have a group shower at my gym, so it's like one big unit.
Oh, sexy.
Everybody's
It's-
like, ooh.
It's so sexy, and lots of cruising happens in there. It's fine.
That used to be like how gyms used to be, but
Yeah.
then everybody decided they wanted privacy
Exactly.
after a certain time.
And because my gym was the one I go to is like the oldest gym in their company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all one unit, and I sometimes sing in the shower, and people are like, "Oh." And
What do you usually sing? What's your go-to song right now?
Feed me, Seymour.
I sing
Breed me, Seymour.
Breed
Oh,
me,
my.
Seymour. Breed me all night long. You can do it.
I should start doing that. That'll be the next one.
Yeah. Drink, moisturize,
Moisturize.
lubricate.
I was in that
Everybody-
mask for like a while. So
Everybody take a little momentum. Just
So you're naked. You're all soaped up. The guys are all naked.
they're all naked. Mike Petersburg from Anastasia is a big one. I use that for auditions quite a bit. It's a fun little song.
how does it go? Can you sing a bit?
I grew up on the fly in the gutters and the streets of Petersburg. Just a kid on the sly, getting good at getting by in Petersburg. The palaces above and alleyways below. Funny when a city is all you know, how even when you hate it, something in you loves it so. Yeah, so it's good.
Yay! That's wonderful.
And
It
it's
has
so,
the word "by" in it.
it does. It does.
Look down, look down.
down.
Lift weights, lift weights, or else you won't get the gains. Lift weights, lift weights. You more. What is it? It's
No. Play
before you go on the dates, you have to hit the plates.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we used to say what are the curls for the girls, but it's the plates before the dates. Never sacrifice. Never skip the gym for some dick or pussy, because you're never. The reason that you take care of yourself is then so you can connect with somebody else, and if that some person out there is then just being like, "Don't you want to like skip the gym and cuddle with me in bed?" And I see like a lot of cisgendered heterosexual guys, like their girlfriends come in and they're like, "Are you done?"
I'm bored.
I'm bored. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, that's not going to work out. And sure enough, it's like I go to
Go
the
wait in the car, dear.
yeah. And so then I asked the guy, because I have some of my friends, I say, "Hey, what happened to your girlfriend?" And she's like, "I dumped her."
Aww.
I was like, yeah. And because, you don't get away of a man's dream or a woman's dream.
So you,
Yeah.
so you were able to get into the gym.
Yes.
So you broke down that barrier.
Yes. I joined a gym and I got you get like 2 free training sessions, and I stayed with the trainer for a little while, and that helped because I was learning the machines, and I was learning exercises and getting tools to be able to function on my own. And so, yeah, that.
So you
that
learned the
helped a lot.
gym, and then you're like, "Oh, this shower is nice. Let me step in here." Oh,
Yes, but it's so funny because even when I was sitting in the steam room once and it just was quiet, everyone's like, "Are you something wrong? You're usually singing." I was like, so people notice. I was like, I didn't. It's pretty funny.
And so in terms of the geekdom, the fandom of muscle and bodybuilding, can you explain to the listeners, what exactly is a geek? Because, when we hear about this, it's usually like somebody at the circus biting the heads off of chickens. That's where the term
Freaks and
originally
geeks, yeah.
freaks and geeks, right? It was an eccentric person that people paid to see act weird and extraordinary, you know?
Sure. So I kind of think of geek as somebody who has a very over-the-top passion and obsession about fandoms that aren't really seen as like the social norm. So like just like cartoons or like musicals, or it's just something like anime. That's another big one. So just like really geeky fandoms.
Yeah.
And so like things that, you know, the old ways, you know, the unpopular kids would like. So
The nerds.
the nerds, yes.
But now nerds rule the world.
Yeah. Now Marvel movies is just like everything.
Exactly. And it's so crazy. Like everyone's all obsessed with the Star Wars and the Marvel and the DCs and
You sound like Bill Cosby before he was seen as a villain.
yeah.
The DCs, the
DCs,
Marvels,
Yeah. Oh, the Gleaven, yeah.
the Haven Flavor. Or that's where also Jerry Lewis too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like dork is another term that is a little bit different. Dork I consider just someone who's a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
But it's charming, like a charming awkwardness. And I kind of identify with that too. So
You have a very sexy, awkward appeal, you know? But you're also an actor, and you know, actors are supposed to envelop different roles. Like,
Sure.
what if you have to play somebody who's like, you know, suave and sophisticated, like, you know, a Star Trek villain who's super powerful, but no one knows it yet.
yeah, you just gotta maybe you can do some research, but find up something in yourself that, you know, you can bring out, pull out. I did Phoebus in Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he's kind of like that knight in shining armor type, and you know,
Phoebus is the good guy.
he's kind of like he was the
And the Disney's the blonde,
Yeah, he's the blonde.
by
Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline,
yes, he was working for Frollo, so he's kind of like the enemy for a while, but then he has like, oh, this is not what I want to be doing. So he was in love with Esmeralda, so he kind of changed sides.
He has a taste of gypsy love.
Gypsy love.
Oh, we don't call that we don't call that anymore. It's Romani love now. Yeah. Only they can call each other that.
So that was a really fun role because I had 13-piece hair extensions. So I got,
Oh shit!
I didn't go blonde, but I stayed in my brunette, and I was just like, oh, so this is what like
Not just a wig, they gave you extensions.
It was full extensions, and I had to have 13 pieces put in every night. It was crazy, but I felt like Jesus, so it was pretty cool.
I want to be hot, but like Jesus, but I want to live. That's what Madonna said. I want to be like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., or Jesus, but I want to live.
Yeah. I mean, I got to sword fight in it. I got to sing pretty. I didn't have to dance, which was another plus for me because I don't like dancing so much.
You played the wolf in
the wolf.
Into the Woods,
Yes.
and they cast you as like a sexy, muscular, kind of desirable wolf. Right?
Yeah. Well, if you remember, I don't know if you know, but in the original production in the 80s, he actually had a penis like in the costume. It was like this prosthetic. It was like a full wolf.
Like
costume.
a dong?
Yes.
Why does he have a dong?
Was
Is
it like
this for
a
kids?
dog's like a red lipstick thing that would come out?
wasn't that crazy, but you can find pictures like it's like full fur suit, and there's a recording of this, like, the one with Bernadette Peters.
And she's singing about this wolf dick.
She was not, but the Little Red Riding Hood was kind of singing with him, and they just like, because it's all about the whole sexual innuendo. It's all about the awakening and loss of innocence. That's what that metaphor is.
Mm-hmm.
So they did not go that route with me. But they did give me like this.
They neutered you.
They neutered me.
Yeah,
They gave me
that's too bad.
this long, like trench coat looking thing. They turned it inside out, so like the fur was on the outside, and they had like little furry gloves. I had like this furry like neck piece that went down my arms, and then it was all sleeveless. So all the muscles.
Is that kind of how you got into cosplay? Is from like playing in theater?
You know, maybe it was part of that because I wanted to pick the characters I wanted to play. Whereas like in a theater, you audition and you kind of like go with what your cast is, and you kind of hope for things. But when you cosplay, you get to, you know, be the characters you want right away, and it's your choice, and you make it happen.
Because you're friends with a couple of world famous drag queens.
Yeah.
James Mansfield, she did a makeover video
Yes,
on you.
yes.
You used to work at a mall with Trixie Mattel.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like what you do is kind of drag adjacent.
I guess so. And it's funny because I'm like I wouldn't know the first thing about drag, but I can still, you know, perform. I can still like get in a costume and try to look my best, and you know, so it works.
So that video that James did with you when she transformed you into a drag queen did nothing for you? You learned nothing from James?
I didn't put the makeup on. I'm like, if I would gladly go and drag if people would do my makeup for me, I'd have no
We
idea.
just go back and watch the video and be like, oh, this is what.
Yeah,
she
you
did.
can learn.
This is what she
That's
did.
true. I mean, I did do all my makeup when I did like shows like Cats and when I did The Wolf, but
You did cats. Oh my God, Fausto loves cats.
I did Cats. I
Yeah.
was
Are you a jellicle cat?
Were you a
I'm a
cat?
jellicle cat.
Were you a cat with an anus or without an anus?
both.
Because they digitally removed the anuses, I guess, in the movie.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen the movie.
No.
So hold on, I got a very important question here. Do you know where to go to that heavy side layer?
Jellicles are angelicals do.
Double camera.
I was Skimble Shanks the Railway Cat, so I had a lot of fun. I got to do my like
What is that song that's Shimple
Skimble Shanks.
Skimble Shanks.
Skimble Shanks the Railway Cat. Yeah, that one. All the guards and all the porters and the station master's daughters would be searching high and low. Yeah.
Can you do the splits?
No.
Can you do like the cartwheels on? Because in
the movie he was doing.
I
crazy
saw
stuff.
the PBS
Yes,
thing,
yes.
which was I'm so glad they made that because I would have never seen Cats otherwise. And I'm like got a bit of a boner for the main cat.
Fausto's
Monka
totally
strap.
horny for the cats.
You like Monka Strap then?
Yeah, the gray one.
The gray one, yeah.
The main one. And so
Are you blind when you're born? Yeah.
yes. Do you see in the dark? But I also like the baritone, the one the heavy side layer.
Do you know how to go to the heavy side layer? Yeah.
It's a great thing to
old
lip
Deuteronomy.
sync. Deuteronomy, yeah.
Yes.
So
Which-
what is the plot of Cats?
This is it's there. There is a plot of Cats, but
It's about Jesus.
It's about Jesus.
It's about death and reincarnation.
yes,
Right?
There's that. There's that. So
There is a plot.
yes.
Yeah.
So you have to look between the lines and you have to watch it. But pretty much every year these cats have a party. They get together. They like introduce themselves and because there's every cat has their own like little song and they are kind of competing to see who will be the one that will be reborn into the next life.
Who's gonna die this year?
So why do they want to die? That's what I don't understand.
Because cats have 9 lives.
Cats have 9 lives, so they lose this life and then go to the next life, which should be a better kind of like it's kind of like the concept of reincarnation, where like you're gonna with your karma you're gonna be a more grand person or cat, a more grand cat.
They don't get reincarnated into dogs or humans or
No,
anything like that. Yeah.
although there is
Yeah.
a number in there called the Peaks and the Pollicles, which I don't think is in the movie, where the cats acted like dogs.
Did you like the movie?
I didn't see the movie.
Okay. Did you like the soundtrack of the movie?
I didn't listen to the soundtrack of the movie.
I liked what they did just for. I know we're getting way off
Yeah,
topic,
I
but,
know.
but we're geeking out, right?
Geekery, that's
muscle
the
nerds,
term.
right?
Geek, yeah.
Muscle nerds, and part of it is like with cats. I think like the Jellicle Cats number was fun, but then it just devolved into this mess, and it was. I feel like it had so much potential. Actually, Steven Spielberg worked with Don Bluth to develop an animated version of the musical, and like the stills that they did looked gorgeous, and it's really heartbreaking that it was never made.
Yeah, that would have been
well.
really cool. I think animated would have looked really nice.
Yeah, instead they made West Side Story.
Boop,
Boop. Hey, won an Oscar. So, shout out to Ariana. And, actually bringing it back here, it's like Ariana DeBose says, like, this award is for everybody who lives in the gray spaces. And, you identify as bisexual, which some people think, like, you're just a gay guy who hasn't fully come out yet.
Yeah.
Explain what that means to you. Right.
Yeah. So I've had friends tell me, like, yeah, I don't believe that exists. And it hurt me a lot because, like, I kind of knew who I was. I started actually just believing I was straight for a long time, or, like, at least trying to convince myself I was because, like, I knew I liked women.
Yeah.
And then the concept of, like, kissing a guy didn't seem, like, normal to me. Like, I was having, like, feelings, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't fully explored yet. So it was more of just, like, trying to figure myself out. And once I did, 'cause I had experiences with both, then I'm like, okay, yeah, this fits me, and I feel really at home with it. And so when people were telling me, it's like, oh yeah, you're going through phases, you're just lying to yourself, and that was really like a knife, because it's like, no, I felt so proud of being bisexual, and so it's just tricky. But lately, it's becoming more and more acceptable. Then because I came out like 12 years ago. and it's changed so much even since then.
But now it's in fashion.
Yeah, now it's now it's the popular thing to do.
You're like,
Yeah.
you're limiting yourself by gender? Gender's just a letter on your driver's license.
Everything is so woke now. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Kevin, it's not bisexual because that's transphobic.
It's pansexual.
Pansexual
Yeah, I
because
know.
you're gender fluid
And the thing is,
blah,
the
blah,
thing
blah.
is, you know,
Yeah.
bisexual and pansexual are kind of under the same umbrella, and some people will prefer to identify as pansexual. Some will prefer to identify as bisexual. Because my attractions are generally more cisgendered. I mean, they could move around, I suppose, but because mine are for the most part cisgender, that's why I use the bisexual label.
I always say the big difference between pansexuals and bisexuals is that bisexuals use deodorant, whereas pansexuals often don't, because they're more like the hippie, like
Yes.
here's some patchouli,
Free love,
feel
everybody.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a joke. Don't get upset, people.
Don't write, please. If you want to write a negative review.
Some people
yeah.
get very offended by that joke,
Yeah.
but other people laugh and they're like, they get it, because
Yeah.
Well, why is it important for you to say bisexual as opposed to pansexual? Is this just because you've been around for a while?
Yeah, I mean, it just fits more like me. And
Because you have the Spider-Man outfit, and it
Yeah.
would be a lot of work to get something new made.
exactly, I really like these colors. You know?
Do you have a problem? Like, is it like with gender? Like, are men more accepting of you being bisexual, or are women more accepting? Is it equal, or like dating somebody? Is it
Trans people.
Is it
yeah.
is it one of those things where it's just like, have you like somebody like, I don't know if I can date you because you're into men and women?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that are like that. I feel like I've gotten a lot of flack from the gay community, but I also know that there are women that just are so afraid that if they are try to date you, they're gonna leave them for a man. So
So the women are more worried that you're gonna find a hot dude.
yeah, and the men are just waiting for you to like.
And so the men are like, they'll take what they can get.
yeah.
So
But there's so
yeah.
many women out there that identify as bisexual.
I know,
right?
it's-
Or pansexual.
It's been yeah. So there are a lot of women that, and those are the other people, the women that like turn down by guy and guy action, because that's always great. It's like, yes, let's have a party.
Oh, so you've had girlfriends who are just like, bring a guy over, let's have some fun.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, I haven't had a bisexual threesome officially yet, which is
Get on it,
It's on my
Kevin.
to-do list. I know.
Get
it's-
on
I
it.
feel,
I'll pull out my wig.
because I've been with two guys and I've been with two women, but I've never been with one man and one woman at a time. So
There's a subreddit called "I Wish I Was Her" that is mostly really hot guys fucking their girlfriends, and it's curated and invited by gay men. And so they're all like, "Oh, I wish I was her. She's so hot." And there's some beautiful men and women having sex on that. Like, and I'm like, it's so weird because it's a forum that's available on the App Store, but like, if you made a app that said "I wish I was her" and showed those videos, it wouldn't get accepted. So it's
right,
weird.
right.
But like for you, like you're mostly a one-on-one kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, those things can change. Your
true.
first sexual experience with a man,
Yes.
would you say was a grand experience?
Oh, a grand experience. The puns. Oh, yes.
Was a famous a bodybuilder, a physique model,
yeah.
Steve Grand,
Steve Grand,
known
yeah.
for All American Boy, who
Yeah.
is a viral song and a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to be in that video,
I was
right?
supposed to be in that video.
Yeah.
He texted me. He's like, "Can you?" Because he shot it in
You were supposed to
Wisconsin.
be the hot guy in the video, the boyfriend.
I don't know who I was supposed to be. Maybe not. I don't know.
You could have been one of the party goers.
Yeah, I'm probably the party goer.
One of the judgmental Christian conservatives at the campfire.
Yeah, because
Oh, how dare
because the
you.
video starts with like this, and then it's very 80s, and then they're like, "Yeah, this is great, woo!" At the end, they're all having a party, and then they're like, and Steve rests his head on his boyfriend's shoulder, and they're all happy, and
So sweet. So sweet. Oh my
it's
God.
a sweet, tender moment, and it captured the zeitgeist of the time and made
Yeah.
him a viral
Exactly.
sensation. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I met him, and it was my first time, like,
yeah.
full on with a man, and I was like petrified.
Were you scared?
I was just like, I like this, but I'm really nervous. This is weird to me. This is new to me. My body was shaking. My muscles were completely.
You're still shaking.
I know. Just thinking about it.
Years later.
But how could you resist somebody like Steve Grant?
I could not.
I mean, he's been gorgeous since I first laid eyes on him.
He's beautiful. And I was so intimidated by him, but then he saw my dick and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I should be naked next to you." So it was kind of funny because he was intimidated by me. Anyways, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So it was a lot of fun.
Oh wow.
How did you get? Wait, so you got naked and then you guys had? Wait, he saw you naked first, and then he was like, "I want to have sex with you," or you?
No, it was kind of like we did like a photo shoot together.
Oh, okay.
And we were coming to do a photo shoot, and yeah, it was just kind of, and I don't know if we might have had sex first. I think it was just like, hey, and I was slowly being undressed, and I was just like, and yeah, it was a time. So
That's you're so charming. Well, I could see why he would, want to ravish you.
yeah. But yeah,
And did he call you back? Did he
we got together again a time after that.
So you were like, did you develop feelings?
I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not that much of a romantical person, I guess. I mean, I suppose I like people's company.
So you're like the perfect lay because you like you'll.
So you're bisexual and kind of asexual or aromantic?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am biromantic too, I suppose, because I could fall in love with people, but I'm kind of jaded. My mom was married 3 times. I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I could fall in love, and I have fallen in love, but I just don't like go after that. If that makes sense. So
it happens when you least expect it.
Exactly, and I'm not going to be like, I'm going to go on all the dating sites. I need to find the one. I'm like, If it happens.
I mean, people are watching this right now on YouTube, youtube.com/feastofun, or on Facebook.
YouTube.
And, we started streaming and the sound wasn't attached. So I've been getting like text messages like, Fausto, the sound was off.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Just for the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll fix it later in post. Sorry, people. I'm new to this. And so in terms of what I was going to ask you. Yeah, so it was a good...
Fuck Steve Grant.
But see, we were chatting, and you have this amazing game. Like, you've had sex with... I don't want to name so many names, but some of the top famous physique models, bodybuilders in North America...
and
porn stars and stuff like that, and then I'm just like, and you didn't have to pay for any of it, which is great.
No, and sometimes
Take that, muscle worship, Bill.
And sometimes I get paid for it too. In the grand scheme of things, if we make, because
you pay with your heart.
He does an OnlyFans.
I do OnlyFans, so sometimes that content goes up there, and it's like, hey, share the wealth.
What's the name of the OnlyFans?
It's That Naked Nerd. So I do lots of fun nerdy things on there, some sexy things on there, some friend things on there.
I imagine that it's probably just like you and be like, hey man, you want to play some Nintendo? I got a boner right now. You want to suck my dick?
That would be the next one. You're right. Yeah. But I've done like a lot of cosplay, like jerk off things in there. I've done like a Power Ranger one. I did a Cyclops one. I did a Spider-Man one where I got like tied up. So there's some fun things on there.
Wait, what? Who tied you up by Spider-Man? Was the Green Goblin and he was gobbling on your dong?
You have to like go and find out. We'll see.
You can show us after the show.
I can show you after the show. Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute.
So you want me to go down on your penis, huh, Peter Parker?
You're like,
Get
sure.
your pumpkin bomb at me.
Yeah. I'm going to make you...
Taste my pumpkin pie.
Is that the voice he uses? I don't know.
I mean, close enough. It works. There's Green Goblin, there's Hobgoblin, there's all kinds of goblins, and they're all kind of like that. So.
Well, you didn't have sex with a rhinoceros? That's probably the
Rhino?
lame... Yeah, Rhino Man.
Yeah. No. Although, I mean, I'm sure he could.
Who's the hottest villain that Spider-Man has ever faced?
Oh my, probably Kraven.
Who's that? For
Kraven.
people who don't know this.
Kraven the Hunter. He is like this, like...
From the movies, though.
Oh, from the movies.
Yeah, because people are like, I don't...
Sorry.
People are like, listen, I can't follow this shit.
They need to put Kraven in the movies. I mean,
Yeah.
because Kraven's Last Hunt is one of the best Spider-Man comics ever. But anyway,
Yeah.
from the movies, the hottest villain, I guess Electro, I think, is pretty good. I like.
That was
especially in the
played by
movie.
Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Because he was like a nerd, and then he's like a muscle nerd.
Yes, muscle nerd. There it is, coming back.
You like muscle nerds.
I do.
What's a muscle nerd to you, as opposed to just a jacked guy?
A muscle
or
nerd?
nerd.
Yeah, a muscle nerd is...
You beat him up, and then you suck his dick?
You shove him in the locker, and then you shove yourself inside.
Nerd. You're a nerd. Get out. No, it's just kind of like somebody who
Yeah.
is... And they're everywhere now, especially with the convention scene.
Yeah,
but people that are cosplaying and just into those nerdy things, those geeky things.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a good body and you like wearing spandex, you're in
the right spot.
Double bicep time. Look at this,
Yes.
man. Oh my God. Let's zoom in a little bit. Look at that. Oh. Yes, baby. Oh. Yeah. Slowly. It's too nice to jump to rush.
I'm so nervous. I don't know.
Are you nervous? Well, I can find ways to relax you.
Oh, okay.
So, this is a bodybuilding podcast. We also talk about sexuality and muscle worship and all that stuff. So you hooked up with this guy who you showed me pictures of him, probably 250.
He's
ripped.
huge.
Yeah.
The most massive guy I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
He's enormous.
Yeah.
Just think who would he compare? Chris Bumstead, similar build,
I mean, this is like a literal Hulk. I mean, like, look at him. He's giant.
And you're how tall are you?
I am 5'8".
5'8", and this guy was how tall?
God, probably like, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4". I don't
250 pounds.
Huge.
260, 300.
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. But he's massive.
How did you meet him?
Oh, this is a fun story. This was in L.A. I was staying with another kind of a porn star guy. And he's like, hey, I'm going to be filming a scene. Do you want to be the cameraman? And so I'm like, oh, sure, that's fine. I'll just, as long as you don't mind me like jerking off and like when I'm doing the camera, it's fine. So I shot him.
Is this how the porns are being made these days? It's like everybody's whacking?
I mean, if it depends on the comfort level of everybody, of course.
Yeah,
But if you're like doing an OnlyFans, everybody's looking for collaborators, and sometimes that collaborator is just somebody filming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're all kind of in the same circles. So I did a video shot with them, and I was like getting super hard watching it. And then at the end, I was still hard, and so he had the guy I was staying with had the big Hulk guy. He's like, suck his dick, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. So he did, and it was just.
So you're a fluffer. If a fluffer is somebody who sucks blows somebody's penis before the movie to get it hard, so they can do the scene. No,
but the big guy was sucking my dick afterward.
Oh, because you turned him on.
And they were filming this too.
They didn't film this. This was just off the record. Oh. I wish it was filmed because I could have looked back at it and have a lot of fun with that. But no, it was just amazing.
So you were at the right place at the right time.
I was at the right place at the right time, but we have communicated since then, and we are thinking about like reconnecting and actually filming something. So
you say that you're not on Scruff or Grindr or any of the dating apps.
Never been.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why?
It just would be a huge time sucker and like a time sucker, huh?
A lot of people use it to promote their OnlyFans these days.
I mean, I suppose that would be an option for me. I could try that.
I mean, welcome to half of the listeners of the show. Yeah,
but because I get so much like interest just on like Facebook and Instagram alone, and Twitter, I get so many messages on those already. It's like I don't really need it to find anybody, but I mean, I suppose it couldn't hurt.
And so, I mean, you must be so busy, right? So you're doing like all this sexual work. You're working a full-time job.
Yeah.
You're hitting the gym.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Yeah. And
Which I'm really thrilled that
you're. I have two podcasts of my own too.
You do podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Talk about them. Yeah.
Both of them are Charmed related right now.
So it's your fandom podcast exclusively on the TV series, the WB. It is a W or CW?
WB. Yeah.
WB series Charmed, starring Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano, yeah, she was one
and
of
Shannon
them.
Doherty, but she got kicked off the show, and the other one who nobody talks about.
There's Holly Marie Combs and Rose McGowan.
Yeah, nobody cares about them.
Some people don't like her politics these days.
Yeah, but I've met a lot of them already. I've seen them all at conventions, and Rose McGowan is actually very nice. She's a little much on social media. But I do think she's a really nice person. She was super nice to me every time I talked to her. So,
what's the appeal of Charmed to you?
Oh, I started watching when I was 10 years old when it first premiered, October 7th, 1998. It was a Wednesday, and I just liked I saw the commercial for it, the trailer, and it was just seemed very mysterious and like witchy and magical. And there's like a whole family element, and I was always very close to my siblings, so I'm like, I think I can dig this show.
How did you feel when Shannon Doherty got kicked off the show?
I was a mess. I was so depressed. I remember there was rumors before she got kicked off that it was going to be happening, and they had like these online petitions, and everyone was going to sign them. I'm like, no, we don't let it. We don't want it to happen. And so I was like trying to get it to. I mean, I couldn't do much. I was like 13 years old. But
the rumor is that they weren't getting along with her, and
Yeah.
she was just hard to work with. How do you feel about that?
I think. I think she's just a very opinionated woman, and she knows what she wants, and she knows what makes a good show. Because she wanted to keep the show kind of in a darker spot. She wanted to tell really emotional stories, and she was just had ideas to change it. And I think there was definitely some tension with her and Alyssa. I know that was true, but I think it was not as big as the media would like it to be.
Because the show, I mean, it did have like a theme running through the whole season or the whole series, but it was kind of like Monster of the Week. They were always fighting some new monster.
Sure,
Yeah.
Demon of the Week. And later seasons they did more archy stuff, but yeah, it did start off that way for sure. So, but I just always liked the family dynamic, and the whole mantra was, they're witches who happen their sisters who happen to be witches. Yeah, power of three. So sisters who happen to be witches, not witches who happen to be sisters. So the three of us. It's a trio.
The
Cast a spell.
one of the cameras isn't working, so I can't do a 3-up. But you can imagine Mark in there, looking good and stuff. And so should we cast a spell?
Oh my gosh, what should we say?
Let's cast a spell for
Muscle.
people who are listening to build muscle. So everybody right now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine the perfect body for yourself and make that twice as big. And now repeat after me. Mecca like a high, mecca hiney ho.
Mecca like a high, like a hiney ho.
Mecca like a high, mecca chiny ho.
Mecca like a high,
mecca shiny ho.
Your wish is now granted.
Oh, thanks, John.
Long live John B.
Beautiful.
And there were some hot guys on that show.
There were.
Eric Dane was on that show
Dane
for a
was on
season and a
there.
half.
Yeah,
And
Julie
the people
McMahon
know him
was
as
on
Cal
there.
is on Euphoria, the hot daddy.
Oh yeah, what's going on with Euphoria? He's like, people said that there's nobody straight in that show. Like
Well, they're all kind of
everybody's kind of like a little
bi
bi-curious.
Well, I
and-
think
Yes.
I think anybody who's even if you're a straight guy in the gym, I feel like if you're that obsessed with your body, I feel like you have to be a little bit gay somewhere.
You're gay for yourself in some way, right?
Yeah. So
Well, let's talk about that because I mean, we were supposed to talk about muscle. We wound up talking about musicals and TV shows, but
and all that jazz. Yeah.
and all that. and, part of it is like I'm really interested, and Mark's very passionate about this. Is the connection that gay men and heterosexual men and bisexual men have that's not necessarily based on sex. There like a lot of. I was reading this about a trans man who was talking about his experience of presenting as a woman in the world, and then he was like talking about his experiences as a man, and it says to be a heterosexual man is a very lonely experience to some degree, or just to be a man in today's society because we don't have a vocabulary, we don't have a way to express ourselves emotionally, and I would say that extends to more than just men. But part of it is it's an isolation that runs on a subconscious level. So this person was describing it as that men are emotionally hungry, but are not aware that they're starving to connect with other people and other men on a non-sexual level.
And there's another phenomenon too that a lot of women talk about, whereas that they're at home, or maybe they're the housewife, or they come home from work, and then the husband or the partner comes home from work, and they just dump on the person every emotion that they have, everything that's happened to them, and they're just like, go out and find friends, do something than this. It's just like, I'm here trying to do this stuff, and like I have to hear about your entire day, and it can be exhausting for a lot of people to kind of have to manage one person's emotions.
And so, we're all about making the world a better place, or leaving the world a better place than we found it on Feast of Fun and Cooking with Drag Queens and Let's
Ruthie?
Grow Big Together. I do know Ruthie.
I did a show with Ruthie too.
Yeah. But so Ruthie's a drag queen. So part of me is like, it's interesting the connection that gay men and heterosexual men have when it comes to building muscle, where we're fascinated by it to some degree. And you talk to a lot of like, straight guys who are into bodybuilding, that they got into building the muscle because they thought they were going to get attention from chicks.
Yeah.
And then they wound up getting attention from dudes. Was that
They
your
liked it.
Well, not necessarily. They're like, yeah. Debbie Downer, you know. For you, like, was that sort of your appeal into bodybuilding, where you're like thinking, I'm gonna get a really cute girlfriend, and then you just sort of discovered that
Right.
you were kind of a little bi-curious.
I mean, I think by the time I
Yeah.
started working out, I was aware of my bi tendencies. I wasn't fully out with it. I wasn't fully accepting of it yet, but I think I did want to be sexier for sure. And then I also thought about like the comic book characters I wanted to be, and like this will work because I can be these superheroes I always wanted. So it was a mixture of both of those things. And yeah, I mean, I just wanted more attention because
So like you could have sex with Superman
Yes.
if you were Superman.
yes, exactly, exactly.
I'm touching Superman's dick right now.
Well, you know, we all know that Batman and Superman are getting it on. You know,
Definitely.
there was a famous series of T-shirts by ACT UP encouraging people to use condoms, and it was Clark wants dick, Dick uses condoms.
So
Because of
Robin.
Dick Tracy.
I thought it was Dick Grayson.
It was Dick Tracy and Clark Kent, and they were
Okay.
like making
Oh,
out.
okay.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like Dick Grayson because that's Robin, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so part of it was like, you know, it
So
was-
worlds collided.
yeah. So it's like yes, the
DC.
mashup of the century. Yeah.
well, isn't Dick Tracy a DC Comics
No,
character?
I don't think so.
Was it? Or I don't know.
I
It might
feel
be
like
a
they're
comic
own.
book. It might be an individual, like a separate company, kind of like Dark Horse. I'm not sure, but I know they made. The movie was really popular in the 90s. And
So, in terms of building muscle, and people want to know about this, how do I build more muscle? What have you done that's been successful for you?
I've
Because you have a good, strong physique.
Yeah.
Would you describe yourself? You were leaner, or you were more bulking, or what would you?
I was always kind of like a lean kid. I was like that
Yeah.
skinny kid, and everyone's like, "You need to eat more." And so I kind of part of my gym process was just trying to prove to somebody that I can have some kind of statement when I walk into a room. So that was like my motivation in a lot of ways. When
I can imagine you're popular at parties.
do you pop out at parties too?
Popular. Are you too poop top to pop?
I guess so. I mean, it's funny because I'm kind of shy when I'm in crowds.
Really?
I've never actually asked anyone out before in my life.
They just approach and say,
I've-
"Suck
I've-
my dick,"
I've always been
like
approached
that guy in the
first.
porn, right?
Yeah. I've always been approached first, or maybe like a conversation was started, but I don't really go up to people and like pursue anybody.
Yeah.
So I guess because I get kind of shy, and I still have some. I used to be afraid to just change, like my clothes in front of anybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like a shy little kid, and so as I was getting more comfortable with the gym, I'm just like now I'm like spreading it all naked all the time, and I don't care. But it was like a whole transition. So
What changed for you?
I think because I started nude modeling. My first modeling job was actually a naked modeling thing, and that was very like free, and I felt very like this is cool. What a neat thing,
For like a drawing class or a photographer?
for a photographer. Yeah,
Okay.
I only started doing life modeling like for drawings like a few years ago. I think during COVID is when that started. But just doing nude photo shoots, and in the beginning you're hard all the time. Instantly you're naked, you're hard all the time, and so.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean I would get on photo shoots. I'm like, this is so thrilling. This is so taboo. I like it. And so the more naked photo shoots I've done, the more I got used to it. And I was kind of like, okay, it's this again. But yeah, I mean that really helped me become more comfortable with my body. And once you're naked, you can't do anything else. You're naked, so might as well just enjoy the moment.
So you were in the photo shoots, you were like, well, I have a boner. And the photographer was like, yeah, let's.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes your photographers will play with you. Sometimes they won't. It depends on the situation and what your comfort levels are. But I've had plenty of photographers that were like a little handsy, and so.
And so in terms of that, like, what do you think is working for you? Like, you said you're a big believer in foam rolling.
Yes.
And you have a foam whirling water bottle.
Foam rolling water bottle. This is Mobot.
What the hell is that? Like it's like a butt plug or something.
For an elephant, maybe.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
I know people that could sit on that.
I do too.
Yeah. But part of it is that foam rolling is about sort of self massage.
Yeah, I like to do this. I like to
Show them because they can't see on the yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
right there.
You can see that, and it's there's stainless steel under there, so it is like a little bit harder than your typical foam roller would be. Oh, typical foam roller would be.
Yeah.
But it's still nice. I crack my back with it really well.
Oh, nice.
You know, I could just do my whole up and down my spine. I was like, so.
Well, that's the thing. Like for me, you know, and Mark, you actually described the first time you were foam rolling as kind of a spiritual awakening.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't spiritual, but I teared up. Like I had some tears that came out because I was just kind of like, it was such kind of like a relief.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, I hadn't felt anything like that in a long time.
Yeah, for me, it you know, foam rolling was something that like allowed me to manage my chronic back pain much better. And it's something like if you've been lifting weights for a while, there's all this scar tissue and you know, your fascia, your maja, your sister. No, the fascia is the sort of the tissue that holds your muscle together between your skin and the rest of your body, right? And so that stuff can get really tense. Someone like Mark actually naturally has very smooth, supple fascia. But someone like me, it was very different than Mark. I have a very tight fascia, so I'm always having to foam roll that. And so for foam rolling, you know, it's like, you know, imagine how good you feel when you go see a massage therapist and you go, you know, people who have money, even they go once a month or something. You can see the massage therapist every single day because you become your own massage therapist. Sure. And you know your body better than anybody else. So you start learning where the tension is and where to release it.
But the trick is too, is that you want to do it a little bit before you work out, but not like too much because you don't want to like relax that muscle, right? Because you want to lift and contract.
Right.
The balance.
And then afterwards, like do it if it feels good, right?
Right. If it feels good, go for it.
I hold so much tension in my back, like my lower back and my shoulders. Those are the most like tense I ever get, and so I'm always just like, oh, I need it. And that's why I don't like doing deadlifts. I'm so afraid of deadlifts.
Why?
Because of just like I'm so nervous about hurting my back, and because I was like,
do you lift with a weight belt?
I have done it with weight belt. I should do it more, and that does help when I did it with weight belt. But I think I just get a little nervous about them. I get scared about them. So I try to find.
We're gonna go to the
ways.
gym together, and we'll get a hexagonal bar.
Yes.
And do deadlifts is it's almost the way I describe it is you're sitting in a chair.
Yeah,
with weight.
Yes.
If you're doing that right, it should feel like you're sitting in a chair.
Yes.
And it shouldn't feel like you're going to be like, you know. And so for a lot of people, I don't think unless you're a power lifter, the deadlift bar, the traditional deadlift, I don't think is necessarily the best way to start. The hexagonal bar, which looks like a honeycomb, and you stand in the middle of it, that just it makes it so much safer.
Yeah, and those I have used, and I like those.
Yeah.
So, but what's funny about my lower back, it's actually my most ticklish spot too.
Oh, now I know.
And it's now you know. But it's also the spot where like I sweat first and I get cold first. So there's something about that spot that is
it's very erotic for you.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like I call it like a wave of telekinesis when there's like pressure on there, like oh. And it's neat. It's an interesting.
You're a very sexual person.
I am.
I love your energy.
I'm a Scorpio. So
my moon is in Scorpio.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
What does that mean?
They say you can. The moon in Scorpio usually can understand people's motivations, and some people are very uncomfortable with that because they like to hide their motivations sometimes.
I'm triple water because I have a Scorpio, and then I have Aquarius rising and Aquarius moon.
Aquarius is an air sign.
Oh,
isn't that weird?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So because I'm an Aquarius.
Okay.
So where's your Aquarius?
Moon and rising.
Okay, so my moon's in.
That's right. It is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our moons are our signs.
Yes.
And our moons and our sun signs.
Yes. And then
I'm a Sagittarius rising.
Okay. And then Chinese zodiac, I'm a fire sign.
Okay.
Rabbit.
I'm the year of the pig. No, I don't know. I don't know
I'm
what
the
year
of the horse.
I don't know what year of the. I think I'm the year of the rat.
Okay.
But
It
I don't
could
know.
be.
Or the cock.
You know. Oh yeah.
All
Yeah,
good.
Daddy. In focus things that we want to share with you guys. If you're struggling to put on size, you're not eating enough. So, one thing that we're going to make for Kevin after we're done
Yeah.
taping the podcast is a delicious protein nutrient rich shake.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I love to put it, get a hand blender, because the blenders are a lot to clean, but a hand blender is basically just the blades, and you put it into the cup.
The ninjas.
The ninjas,
Yeah.
and then you get, so my recipe is a scoop of whey protein, about the same amount of yogurt, like Rocky, a raw egg. If you don't feel comfortable, if you have a compromised immune system, skip the raw egg or use pasteurized egg whites. Frozen blueberries, half a cup of oatmeal, a banana, and what else? And raw spinach and parsley and ginger.
Oh.
Can be really amazing. You're going to drink this, you're going to get big. You're going to get big. You're going to get big.
I need this recipe.
He
yeah,
promises.
It sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it.
Cool.
We'll do it together. And and part of it is like, for me, I had this one really sweet old guy who was like a jacked up bodybuilder. He, 75 years old. He comes up to me. He's like, if you want to get big, you got to get yourself some eggs. Because the eggs got the cholesterol in them, and that cholesterol's the good cholesterol that feeds the muscle. You go to yourself and get to Costco or Walmart or even just the grocery store when they're having a sale and get as many eggs as you can, son. You listen to me? You do not eat no eggs, do you? And I was like, and he was right.
I mean, a bodybuilder, a lot of them they'll have like 12 egg whites a day.
How many eggs do you eat in a day?
In the morning I have 3 eggs, but I kind of and I soft boil them, and I usually eat only part of the yolk. I don't eat all of the yolk.
Yeah.
When I was a lad, I
Sometimes
ate
4.
4 dozen eggs. Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Gaston
Yeah.
sings.
It's a good cheap source of protein, and it's kind of it's young protein.
Yeah. Younglings.
Yeah.
What is some other advice that we can share before we wrap up the show here for people?
What do you do? What do you like to do for your chest? Because you have a nice chest there.
You got nice tits.
Yes. I do a
I
lot.
like looking at them in the Spider-Man outfit.
Thank you. I love like flies, but I do a thing where like I hold see, I'm trying to do it here. I hold this position while I do one side.
Okay, one side fly.
Yeah.
On
And
the
then
machine.
So you isolate it.
You isolate it, and then I hold this one and then do the other side. So it's really keeping them engaged, keeping them working. So I really like that. I do push-ups on balls while my feet.
You try to do the muscle confusion?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of that. I that was actually one of my talking points for
Yeah.
today. It's like,
Yeah.
your muscles don't want to be confused.
They don't?
They want to know what they're going to do. Visualize your workout. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to...
But they say that's good for your core and everything, no?
Then train your core. Do crunches, do
Yeah.
planks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like when you're trying to do, for like I've seen this at the
Yeah.
gym all the time, is somebody doing curls and they're standing on a Bosu ball and they're just shaking
that.
around,
Yeah, that's too much.
And I'm like, it's so
You're like, your
accident
disc is
prone.
going to
Yeah,
slip.
yeah.
See, well, like I feel when I'm doing it, I'm in control. My body knows how to do it. So it's just like I just like because it's not like completely rolling. It's just kind of like a nice little.
So what's the benefit of that for you?
I just feel like everything is active.
That seems gimmicky.
Maybe, but I feel because like I don't, it's not like I'm doing too much crazy stuff, but I just like it. I don't know. It feels good to me.
If it feels good, do it.
Yeah, listen to your body.
And do it, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again with love. Don't ever stop it. You can't stop.
Don't ever start it if you can't stop.
Yeah, sorry, I'm switching the camera here.
I'm getting all
Let's-
sweaty in here.
wait. Don't
Rest
ever
in
start if you
peace.
can stop.
Rafaela Cara, right?
Rafaela Carrà.
Cara. That's
She's one of my favorite artists that people don't really remember or know much about her.
Italians do. Europeans know her.
Do it again. Do it again with love. Do it again. Do it again with love. Faster, 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 fast. Never stop in the moment last. Do it again. Do it again with love. She didn't speak a lot of English, but she
She
did
knows
it
the words.
phonetically.
The
She
words
knew the
knows.
words.
Yes.
It's such
Don't
a
ever
weird-
stop when you can't stop. Hey guys, remember,
gosh.
Let's Grow Big Together is a production of Feast of Fun. We rely on your financial support to make this podcast happen. We're not doing OnlyFans, so
Yeah.
yet. Go to feastoffun.com/plus and consider becoming a member and access thousands of legendary podcasts of Feast of Fun and Let's Grow Big Together and interviews with some of the legendary artists, bodybuilders, musicians, extraordinary people, the Cool Kids Club.
Oh, yeah.
You can also join us at Patreon, patreon.com/feastoffun for that ad-free experience.
Yes.
And also,
That's French.
write to us at mail@feastoffun if you have any questions about the podcast or any problems with your accounts, anything. We'd love to hear from you. Mail@feastoffun.com.
And where can people follow you? Again?
Oh, sure.
Oh, there's that Wisconsin.
Oh, sure. My Instagram is KGZ87. That's KJEEZY87. You can
We'll
follow-
put a link to that.
Yeah.
No one's going to be able to remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll put in the link in the show
Sure.
notes so that you could just scroll down and then you can go follow
Yeah.
that naked nerd.
That Naked Nerd. That's on Twitter and my OnlyFans name. And then if you want to do the podcast, it's Words of the Witches or Hanging with the Hallowells on Instagram. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You're a delight.
Oh, thank you. You know.
And thanks to your friend Joe for referring to,
yeah.
you
I
to
mean, that's
us.
how we
Yeah.
found
Joe?
each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe. Yeah, we love Joe. Another cosplayer friend.
Was that Joe from last week?
From
Yeah.
last
Oh
my
week.
God, that's
yeah,
amazing.
I love Joe.
Yeah, everyone's like, what is this, a cosplay podcast now? I was like, I'm not complaining. Are you? Look at this beauty. Oh my God, so adorable.